Here's some tips that helped me get from 800 to above 1500. If you're up against an opponent with invis, you always want some form of true sight. For this, Dust of Appearance can be bought from Goblin Merchant, Ancient of Wonders, or Tomb of Relics. You can also use Reveal ability from Goblin Laboratory. But did you know you can have true sight items for free? Most maps have green, easy camps that have 50% chance to give you a consumable that will grant you some form of true sight. For example, if you go to Liquipedia page for Northern Isles, click Map Preview, you will see that there's an easy camp with a bunch of murlocs. This camp can drop 4 items, and 2 of these items have the ability to reveal invisible units, which amounts to about 50% chance of dropping 1, and you have 2 of them on the map. So try to prioritize these camps against certain opponents, so not only are you trying to farm XP efficiently, but also countering invisibility for free. Most of starting players face cheesy tactics that are used to overwhelm them. One of these tactics would be mass air units, and scouting is crucial while facing these matchups. So here's a list of things to look for. 1. The opponent will try to tech really fast with minimum investment into army. If you see them upgrading the main building with no army structures, it's very possible they're going for mass air. 2. It's always good to scout right after tier 2. In case of mass gargs, they need graveyard and 2 crypts. In case of wyverns, they will build 2 bestiaries and lumber mill for higher lumber income. You can try to cancel these buildings, tower up, or start building anti-air. 3. A person who goes for mass air will try to distract you in early stages of the game because they can't invest into defenses too much. If you see a solo Farseer or Blade Master trying to invade your base, scout their base for signs of mass air as previously mentioned. Same goes for the early Death Knights with ghouls. The most simple and effective piece of advice I've ever given to someone, including myself, is get your first hero to level 3 as fast as possible. This is the most simplest and uncomplicated of concepts. A level 3 hero will always win versus a level 1 or 2, because that gives you a second level spell that is dramatically stronger than first level spell. Be it Mana Burn, Wolves, Heal, or Chain Lightning. It's an incredible surge of your hero's power that can be used to harass your opponent, take away his camps, or just securely creep anything you want. The way to do this is to optimize creeping routes for at least 3 to 4 camps. I highly recommend reviewing replays of pro players to find optimized routes for your specific race, style, map. Also think about positioning your altar closer to the camp you're about to creep first. It will shave some time from running towards the camp and also will make you think about which camp you need to get first. Item cooldowns have a couple of notable caveats that new players tend to overlook. 1. If you have multiple similar items that grant HP, like Potion of Healing, Health Stone, Greater Potion of Healing, once used they will all go on cooldown. Noteworthy exception is Scroll of Healing. They have their own separate cooldown. 2. If you used an item on one hero and passed that item to another hero, that item will retain the cooldown time it had on the first one. That means that item cooldowns are not hero-specific, but item-specific. Noteworthy exception is Rod of Necromancy. This item retains hero-specific cooldowns, which was a bug that stayed in the game and seems to be important for undead balance. The best thing you can do for yourself as a starting player is to have a plan. One of the ways to do this is to watch pro players play against each other. Warcraft 3 info has a vast collection of fresh replays that are available for viewing. Just go to warcraft3.info, go to replays, and use the basic or advanced filters to search for what you want. With advanced filters, you can choose specific heroes in specific order, units, and even players. For example, if I want to find a mass hunts push, I choose Priestess of the Moon as a first hero and at least 5 hunts. The result will be a list of games containing Priestess Hunts push at least from one player. And as a bonus, if you end up having trouble watching replays with .nwg format, just rename them to .w3g, download the map from the same page, double-click the .w3g file, and place that map wherever Warcraft 3 tells you to. After that, double-click the same file again and have fun watching replays. If you're unfamiliar with upkeep, this is how it goes. When you have below 51 supply, your resources are farmed fully. After you have 51 and below 81 supply, your resources are farmed at 70% effectiveness. At 81 and above, your resources are farmed at 40%. The basic way to think about upkeep is this. If you can fight your opponent with 50 pop army and he goes above that, then you will be at better spot, because he will spend money more ineffectively compared to you. Other things to keep in mind. Towers and upgrades do not require supply and are a good way to punish aggressive opponents who don't expand. If you do want to break the upkeep, the general rule is to make 60 to 70 population worth of supply buildings and have 800 gold in store. The reason is, of course, to have enough money for uninterrupted production of units. It seems that not all of the players that start the game are aware of how experience works for heroes, so here's the gist. 1. If you have one hero and an enemy is killed by your units anywhere on the map, that hero gains XP. 2. If you have 2 or more heroes and an enemy is killed by your units away from those heroes, they all share XP. 3. If there are 2 or more heroes and an enemy is killed by your units in their range, they all share the XP. 4. If you have 2 or more heroes and unit is killed in presence of one hero, that hero gets the XP and those who are out of range will not. 5. If one of your heroes is level 5, it will stop gaining XP from neutral camps, but still take away XP from another hero if they are both in range of dying neutrals. This has been said many times before, and I will say it again. One of the most important mechanics in the game is surround. The surround is not the simplest of mechanics, but there is an easy way to start trying to implement it in games. Move your army towards the unit. Try to make it so your units are on all sides of it and press move button. Default is M on the unit you want to surround. Melee units will automatically surround the opponent, and that will automatically win you some games. Keep practicing with different races and units because some units have bigger or smaller models than others. You can't be too good at surrounds, so it's a skill you should start developing early on. Let me make this clear. I do understand that it's a hard thing for a new player to do multiple things at once, but I will give you a couple of simple tips to help with managing resources while playing. 1. Put your buildings in control groups. If you find it difficult to have multiple groups, you can have one control group for all your structures. Select it and press Tab to select next group by type. For example, if I have an Ancient of War and 2 Ancients of Law in a group 5, I would have to press 5 plus Tab to reach both of the Ancients of Law. 2. Listen to notifications of finished buildings and jump to them immediately to remind yourself to start building, upgrading and hiring. 3. At any point during the fight, if you remember that you have money, press the button for Buildings Control Group and just spend your money by pressing hotkeys for units. It doesn't have to be clean or optimized, just start doing this chaotically so it would become a habit. Now there are multiple ways of customizing hotkeys. First way is you can use legacy keybinds. If you've played Warcraft 3 campaign, you will probably be more used to this rather than other ways. Second way is you can use grid style, which means having all hotkeys mapped to the same QWER pattern, but would mean attack command, move command and others will also be bound to the same pattern, which might mess up people who play Dota or League. Third way is to just customize every key. You can now do this in Warcraft 3, but W3 Champions Launcher gives you more options. The last, but perhaps the most important thing, is to use a special program to bind inventory hotkeys. By default, inventory hotkeys are bound to numpad, and in order to bind them to custom buttons, you want to use Warcraft Inventory Hotkeys program that comes separately or as a part of W3 Champions Launcher. This program is soon to be replaced by in-game inventory key customization. No race, strategy or tactic is broken or overpowered. Every strat you've played against has been beaten many times. Never blame the game, seek to improve. And visit me at my Twitch allsup go to heaven, link in the description.